Thanks so much for visiting Tea and Butty on YouTube. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
Today's episode is going to be reacting to British nostalgia from the 90s on BuzzFeed. Yeah, we're doing reaction podcasts, everybody. We are in the hole of reacting. Is it a hole? I don't know.
I don't know. You know what?
Because people get that way on YouTube and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many we've done. I don't think we've done that many.
I think we've talked about it. I mean, I know when I was compiling this list, because I curated it and whatever, you know, we got most of it from BuzzFeed. And they had like 50 or so on there.
Yeah, it was just one article though, right? You didn't compile, because sometimes I know we compiled articles.
It was just one article, and it was just like I just compiled 10.
Yeah,
of the basic ones, you know,
because we tend
from
to
the
go,
90s.
We tend to go on, so
we go on, and there's little stories,
50.
and you know, jog my memory when I was reading. I was like, of little stories that I'll just tell.
Oh my god,
So,
here we go.
There we go.
No, but we're allowed to have reactions, aren't we? To things
We're reacting to this. It's like, oh, we're going back in time.
Oh my gosh! All right, let's do it.
Number 1 is spending Saturday nights watching Gladiators and Baywatch.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean, that happened over here as well.
No, it didn't.
It did, I remember.
You didn't have the same Gladiators that we did, though. It wasn't the same.
Why, were yours British?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
I remember
that was not from the 90s, though, for me. We had that.
No, Gladiators was from
in
the
80s, like when I was little.
It wasn't the same Gladiators, though. You didn't have Wolf and
know.
Jet and Cobra, did you?
Yeah, we had all those people.
They weren't...
No, I don't remember their names.
Wolf, Jet, Cobra...
One was like red and one was blue. There were teams, weren't there?
There was teams, yeah, I remember. I mean, I don't remember the members of the public or anything like that doing it.
Gladiators.
And was your referee Scottish?
No, I don't think so.
The referee was... That's what everybody remembers about the referee, is the Scottish. It's like, Gladiators ready! You know? That's what everybody was like.
No, we had gladiators, though. Yeah, and they would run in the, like, cage balls and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it was some members of the public who competed in it, isn't it? It was like people who competed against the gladiators to win a prize.
Oh God, I don't remember. I said, I was really little when that was on TV. I don't.
Well, obviously it came from America. I mean, that was a game show that came over, but it came on in the 90s. It started in like the early 90s. It wasn't late 80s or anything for us, because I remember it was like big TV. Everyone fancied Jet because she was, you know, she was like the hot one, you know, the hair and everything.
Yeah, they all had names like that. I don't remember what our names were.
And everyone was scared of Wolf because he looked all scary. He had the classic like 80s kind of long hair, and he had the face, and you know, and it's like, oh, you're going up against Wolf, you know. Yeah, everybody. You know, I just remember them. You know, I remember mainly just being around my gran.
Yeah.
You know, bringing up my grans watching it.
That's so weird, because I remember being at my grandma's house watching Baywatch. Which is the other one you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't that was something I added, because I remember, Baywatch was like right after Gladiators on a Saturday night. And God, Baywatch, everyone fancied Pamela Anderson and everyone was scared of David Hasselhoff, so...
Scared?
No, I mean, as I said about everyone fancied Jet and everyone was scared of Wolf.
Ha ha.
Ho 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 ho.
No, yeah, but again, I thought Baywatch was in the 80s. I guess maybe it was like
late
very early 90s.
Baywatch came out in like, I think, very late 80s, 1989 maybe, but but it came on in Britain in like the early 90s.
Yeah.
91 to like 95 or something. I just remember it very clearly, you know.
Because I can remember being
It was
over at
hugely
my
popular for obvious reasons.
being at my grandparents' house and then being picked up and like, okay, it's time to go home now, you know, like late on a Saturday evening. I don't know if my parents had been out somewhere or what, but they'd come get me. And I'd be like, oh no, we're just in the middle of this Baywatch. I'm going to miss it if we go home now. God, like, let's just stay and finish it.
It was very entertaining, but very far-fetched.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it's cringy now when you look back on it because it's pretty terrible show. You know, it's like, it's very much like Knight Rider. I mean, that's David Hasselhoff's other show. I mean, except Knight Rider was classic because it had a science fiction element. Baywatch was just, we're just lifeguards, we're not the cops.
We just recently watched that Baywatch movie
with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And Zac Efron.
What, like a few weeks ago? Or...
It was a few weeks ago. It was, I thought I was all geared up for it to be like, oh god, this is going to be really bad.
And it was.
But it was supposed to be bad.
Yeah.
It was like taking the piss out of Baywatch.
Yeah.
This show.
It was pretty funny, actually.
It was quite funny, you know, because it was just kind of like, you know, you had Dwayne Johnson playing Mitch Buchanan, which was David Hasselhoff's character. And he's like, we gotta solve this crime, and da-da-da-da-da. And Zac Efron's like, okay, you know, this sounds like a really far-fetched, but we're just lifeguards, man. We're not the cops.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it was like nobody remembers Baywatch except for Pamela Anderson and all the girls on it, and every man in the world had a Baywatch calendar with them on it. You know,
yeah.
It's like, and everybody remembers David Hasselhoff driving the Jeep and the slow motion running and the theme.
Carmen Electra,
Yasmin Bleeth, all the girls. Yeah, as I said, in the swimsuits and you know, doing the slow motion running and stuff.
You know, I guess it must have been on in the 90s because remember in Friends, that was like something Joey and Chandler bonded over,
like
that Baywatch was on. Yeah.
Baywatch,
they always watched it together. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't know when it was cancelled, but I think it was. I don't know if it was cancelled. They might have just ended it.
Oh God, yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, no one remembers the plots. But Baywatch the film, the reboot, the remake, it showed you what the plots were, you know, and they were really like far-fetched, and it was just like, yeah, they were just a bunch of lifeguards on the beach.
Yeah.
They were solving drug trafficking crimes and you know murders and stopping explosions and all this crazy stuff, you know, and it's like very entertaining, but it's like, what?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my God.
Anyway, number 2, I know you probably didn't. This is British nostalgia now.
Okay.
Andy Peters, Philip Schofield, and Ed the Duck in the broom cupboard on children's BBC.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I remember that. It was an interstitial program between like things, you know, actual shows.
Oh.
You know, it was like they were in the broom cupboard and they read out like little things, and they had a puppet called Ed the Duck, which was this crazy little puppet with green like hair, and he looked like a punk duck. You know, everyone had the puppet, and I had one too. And I remember I had one when I was like 5, I must have been, and a friend came over and it went missing.
Your friend stole it.
He was a schoolmate. Yeah, I think his name was Adrian.
Oh my gosh, Adrian! Give it back, Adrian.
Yeah, I think it just went missing. I remember it went missing after he'd been over. And I was like, yeah, Adrian.
Little 5-year-old kleptomaniac.
Adrian, you stole my Ed the Duck. I just remember it was like, oh, it's gone, you know, and I can't find it. And my parents were like, well.
But what a pathetic name, Ed.
Ed, with 2 Ds. Ed the Duck. He was cute.
Come up with a cuter name for a duck, a little punk duck with green hair. Than Ed.
He was really cute. I mean, I haven't got a picture of him up here because I've only got this all in Notepad. But,
come on, Bob.
So look, Google Ed the Duck on the broom cupboard and see BBC and find it. Yeah. Number 3 is Pick and Mix at Woolworths. Yeah.
Oh my God. How is that nostalgia for you though? Because every time we go back to Britain, you have to go. Oh, because it was at Woolworths.
It was at Woolworths. Yeah. I mean, you can find Pick and Mix in Tesco and all that now, but Woolworths was the place to go get it, even back in the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you could go get, if you don't know what Pick and Mix is, it's just like penny sweets and candies and stuff, you know, and you can just put them all in a bag and it gets weighed and that's how much it is at the, you know.
Yeah, we used to have
the best.
In the grocery stores when I was little. I mean, they have like old-fashioned candy stores because of course that's like very old-fashioned. That's how people used to buy their candy.
I mean,
you
it wasn't old-fashioned back in my day.
But at the grocery stores here, or you know, in the Panhandle where I used to live when I was a kid, we had Brock's. Do you guys remember Brock's? Brock's candies?
It might just be a Texas. Oh, that was a candy.
Maybe.
I thought it was a store.
Maybe. No, it was like a brand of candy. You can still get them in the grocery stores, but now they're like prepackaged.
Yeah.
But this would just be a little like booth, and it would just kind of be in the middle of the aisle, or sometimes it was on the end of an aisle, like a full thing like that, and it was just full head to toe full of candy, and you would take the little scoop and you'd get out whatever you wanted and put it in the bag, and then they'd weigh it when you checked out, or maybe they had scales right there. I can't remember. And it was all different candies. My favorite ones were the
fizzy cherry cola bottles.
No, that's not it.
Fizzy cola bottles.
No, these coconut ones, they're like pink and white and brown, and they were like a little chewy thing like that. Oh my god, those things were like heaven.
We used to have that kind of stuff, you know, these little green apple cables and stuff. Later on, when Woolworths closed, we had this shop in my town called Sweet Things, and I took you there.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. I was like, that's not nostalgic for you.
Well, it is nostalgic for me now, because I don't have that access to that now, do I?
I mean, we have candy stores like that here.
Well, yeah, you have like Five Below and stuff like that has that kind of penny sweet kind of thing. But yeah, we used to get fizzy cola bottles, the green apple cables.
Oh my god, you guys, he is a candy head like no other. He just candy
all the time.
He just candy. Okay?
And the little and the little chocolate buttons.
Yeah.
The refreshers. I remember them. Little chewy sweets.
And what? Woolworths is just
fried eggs. Fried eggs.
Oh.
They were like jelly fried eggs. I mean, I think you have them over here. You have cola bottles and everything over here too.
Yeah.
And the green apple cables with like little like cream in them. Yeah, you liked them because I remember you had one and you were like, cute. What is it?
They're like Twizzlers, only they have stuff in them and they're not twisty.
And that's why I like Twizzlers fruit-filled twists over here, because they're better than Twizzlers, because Twizzlers just taste like plastic.
Oh, Twizzlers are terrible, yeah.
Yeah, but the fruit-filled sweet and sour ones, yes.
Oh my god, it just makes my teeth hurt. It
makes my teeth hurt just to think of it. But yeah, Pick and Mix at Woolworths. I mean, Woolworths closed down about 10 years ago now.
Yeah, Woolworths closed. Yeah, we used to have Woolworths here also.
But yeah,
I think it was an American store, wasn't it? And I think it
was, yeah, or maybe it was like maybe it was a British. There was a British store with the same, kind of like the Dennis the Menace effect.
Oh yeah,
I
don't know if we've ever talked about that on here.
Yeah, I think the Dennis the Menace in the cartoon over here and Dennis the Menace in Britain. Yeah, and I mean apparently that they're not owned by the same company.
But they came out at the same time.
Came down at the same time.
They both had stripy shirts and a dog. Yeah.
But that was where
they both had a neighbor that they annoyed, didn't they?
Well, I think Dennis the Menace in the UK version annoyed pretty much everyone.
Yeah, it was like
and he had like a spin-off character called Minnie the Minx, which I think was supposed to be his little girlfriend, and she was just as mischievous as him. And his dog was called Nasher.
Yeah.
And he looked a little bit like Dennis because he had the crazy black hair, but over here it was like
Dennis was blonde.
He was blonde. He looked like a beach boy. You know?
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, back to the
thing. Anyway, Dennis the Menace. There you go. That's another nostalgia. I was going to say
that was somebody else's nostalgia though, because that came out in like the 50s or the 60s, I'd say.
Yeah, it did, but when I was a kid,
we're not quite that.
When I was a kid, right, Dennis the Menace was still a big thing. I had a Dennis the Menace jumper.
Yeah, it was over here as well. Actually, they made a live action movie.
They never made a live action movie based on our Dennis the Menace. I think it was just
Probably
cartoons.
because we did.
Yeah, maybe.
And they couldn't do the same name or something.
Yeah. Because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it came out. It must have come out.
Yeah, you guys.
I think it was called Dennis.
You guys should look it up because it's a really weird. It's one of those weird phenomenons. You know, like they always say, if someone has a good idea in the world, it's sort of like just out there. Then, you know. So if you don't act on it,
yeah, because surely
then somebody
someone's
else is
gone.
bound
Wait
to.
a minute. That's my Dennis the Menace. You know, like DC. I think DC Comics did it over in Britain.
Oh, yeah.
I think, yeah, DC Thompson. DC Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah. They were called, not DC Comics
right.
or Batman, DC Thompson, and it was a Scottish thing. I think because they did the Beano, which is what Dennis the Menace is like the...
Beano. It just cracks me up every time you say Beano.
Beano.
Anyway.
The Beano and the Dandy. Yeah, but anyway, that's also nostalgia, but yeah, we're getting a bit off topic now. On the list. Back to the list. Number 4, Chris Evans on TFI Friday. And that's not Chris Evans, Captain America. That's Chris Evans, the ginger guy that used to present TFI Friday and now does like Radio 1 or something like that. But
what does TFI stand for?
I don't know.
Oh.
It was just TFI Friday. That's what it was called.
I thought it was going to be something
It was a show in the 90s, and he did it from like this upstairs kind of... It was kind of a weird thing. He had a desk... And he had like a window there, but it was like in the upstairs of this like warehouse looking thing. And the audience were like, they had a bar, they had a pub, little bar pub thing.
Okay.
And, you know, they had celebrity guests, obviously, you know, and stuff. But the one I remember a lot was Paul McCartney coming on. And... to promote Flaming Pie in 1997.
Oh, yeah.
And he came on, he was like their biggest guest, I think.
Was it a music show?
It had music on it, because I remember he went down the stairs, and you know, there was
just like the vibe of the setup, what you're describing to me, kind of makes me think of Total Request Live over here.
It was sort of like that, but it was just kind of like they had like little games and stuff that they played, and little prank bits and, you know, comedic bits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a great show. You know, it was a little bit more grown up for when I was like from when I, because I think it only lasted a couple of years.
Yeah. It
started in like the mid 90s, and then, but maybe not.
It was a bit more like teenagery though, and you were little.
Teenagery, I mean, young adult.
Yeah.
Type show, you know, and. You know, I just remember him, I was watching it on YouTube, actually, because, you know, thanks to the power of YouTube, you can find anything on there now, and I was watching Paul McCartney's bit, and I remember he did an interview with Paul, and he says, oh, yeah, this is all my questions, because, you know, I knew this was going to happen, obviously, and I spent, every time I thought of a question, I wrote it down, and, you know, and he did this great, and I just remember one of them was like, oh, yeah, you dream about John, right? John Lennon.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, I dream about him. It says, and you know, sometimes when I write a song, you know, I think, oh yeah, you know, I check it with John.
Yeah.
That was where he came out with, I check it with John.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a great setup, because they had like the audience, you know, they had the cameras and stuff just there, but they had like audience members drinking. And just like you know, like, oh yeah, over there, you know, it was like a really crazy kind of like setup.
This is not a kid's show.
Elton John. Yeah, because they had like a barman who was like serving drinks.
Only in Britain, you guys.
And you know, Paul did it. I think he did Young Boy on the thing, because I remember he had like video of him playing the song and the drums, you know, like.
Oh yeah.
Like playback, you know,
right.
So he was effectively just playing with himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was when I was just getting into the Beatles, so it was like really exciting to see Paul McCartney on a show, you know, that was current, you know.
No, I asked you what TFI stands for because when I was little, we had on ABC, they had TGIF, which obviously...
thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, and they on Friday nights, and it was like back-to-back shows. Like, there were like family shows, but they were more for kids, so, you know, like Full House and Family Matters, and... I can't remember what there was this other one with Patrick Duffy in it. What was that called? I can't remember. Anybody? What was that called? Sally? The Thigh Master. What's her name?
Sally, I don't know. What's her name?
Oh, not Sally Field, not Sally Struthers. Oh, you guys. You guys know who I'm talking about. But yeah, they had all those like kind of kid-centric sitcoms on Friday nights, and it was like TGIF, and I lived for Friday nights as a kid because those were all like, I was super into all those shows.
Yeah, it was like, I'm just looking it up now, and
but your show sounds more like a precursor to Jules Holland or something.
It was Channel 4. I think Jules Holland was on at the same time. It came out from 96 to 2000, so it was extreme 90s, you know, late 90s, and it was like regularly featured live music of the day, you know.
Okay,
but they had like bands like Aerosmith and All Saints, and you know, they had and Cooler Shaker.
So it was a bit more
the Lightning Seeds, you know, it was very Britpop.
So it was a little bit Total Request Live-ish.
A little bit, yeah. They had like actors on there.
Oh yeah.
Ewan McGregor was on there. I think there was a lot of swearing on the show too.
Oh yeah.
Which attracted controversy.
And this came on at like what time of day?
It was like prime time, as I remember.
Oh yeah. So before the watershed.
Yeah, at 6 p.m.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So you weren't allowed to swear really before the watershed.
Right. The watershed. Just explain it really quick.
Basically, the watershed is like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And anything after that you can swear because kids should be in bed. Before that, you're not allowed to swear.
Why is it called watershed though?
Because
I always wonder that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something.
Something to talk about in another podcast.
Talk about the watershed and everything, because apparently that was a big thing in America. Americans were coming over and films weren't bleeped out.
It's like, oh yeah,
and they were like,
they're
what?
Cussing.
What?
Yeah,
they're cussing. Oh, this is
you
crazy.
hear it more on television over here now, but
yeah. But
you
I mean,
didn't used to,
you hear it like on BBC One with like Graham Norton and stuff. You know, they might bleep some of the more severe cuss words.
Yeah.
But sometimes they let the occasional F word and, you know.
Yeah.
Go, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, the TFI Friday had the Spice Girls. You know, it had all the major people of the day on, you know.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a crazy, like, you know, and they were just sitting at a desk talking, you know. and they would face in this, like, bar area, you know. And, you know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it just ended then because, you know, everybody just went on to do other things. And I think they came back with it for a one-off special, but yeah. Number 5 is Barbie Girl by Aqua being the biggest hit of 1997.
Oh my god, yeah. That was true for over here, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a Barbie girl.
And then right afterwards they had Dr. Jones. They had another hit, Dr. Jones.
No.
That they were like a 2-hit wonder.
I think they were.
But Barbie Girl was like their massive hit. Everybody was like, "I'm a Barbie girl. Life is plastic. It's so fantastic," or whatever. Yes. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. It was just like, oh, it did my head in, and I was like 11 at the time. It was terrible.
Maybe that should be a Name That Tune one of these weeks.
I remember this kid. Oh, yeah. Is everyone enjoying the Name That Tune segment we do on Instagram? You know, our Instagram stories.
Sometimes we post one. Some weeks we'll post one, and it's just like crickets. Like
nobody even bothers. Nobody's just like, yeah, don't know this.
And then when we put it up, everybody replies, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought maybe. And maybe it's just like, you should have guessed at least."
Maybe what we should do actually is like, you know, instead of me just playing the chords or whatever, I should hum it a little bit. You know, hum the melody.
Oh, that'd be way too easy.
No, it wouldn't, because people, you know, you're just like, you know, like the last week's was, you know.
Oh wait, I would never get that.
Yeah, you never got that. But what is that? I see you driving round town with a girl I love.
You're humming from like the back of your throat though. So. Oh my god.
I can't whistle, so. Too big teeth.
But yeah, that was
Barbie Girl.
Yeah, that was a hit over here.
Yeah, it was huge. It was bloody huge.
We're gonna have to zip through these last few.
Okay, yeah. Number 6, Being Petrified of Mr. Blobby. I wasn't, but every other kid apparently was.
Mr. Blobby is pretty horrendous looking, yeah.
He was mainstay of this primetime entertainment show called Noel's House Party, presented by Noel Edmonds. He was like this
blob.
It was this blob man. It was like he was like this guy in a costume, and all he'd say was blobby wobby wobby robby, like in this like crazy voice, and he'd just get people. He'd just turn up and get people.
Yeah.
Like people do,
It's sort of equivalent for me to people who are afraid of clowns, though.
He was kind of like clownish,
like he's so like,
but he was
jolly looking that is just creepy, and then it's just.
But he was pretty crazy looking, and when you look back in it, I can understand why he terrified kids, because I do seem to remember a couple of kids being like, "Oh, we can't watch Noel's House Party because Jennifer freaks out every time Mr. Blobby comes on, Mr. Blobby, she's screaming." No, I heard it several times as a kid, like, "Oh, we can't watch that because every time Blobby turns up, she's screaming and running out of the room."
Yeah.
And it was like, everybody thinks it's really, I thought he was all right, Mr. Blobby. Number 7, leafing through the Argos catalogue looking for things to put on your Christmas list.
I don't know if we've ever talked about Argos on this
Argos,
podcast.
mate.
I mean,
it's still a thing.
It kind of maybe deserves like
a mention,
more attention than what we're about to give it.
Basically, Argos is you leaf through a catalogue, and you go into any store of Argos, and I think it's still the same thing. It was kind of like online ordering, but you were there. You were there to pick it up. And what you do is you leaf through the catalogue in the store or at home, and you'd go down. Well, you'd leaf through the catalogue at home, and then you go to the store and go through the catalogue and look for the number and get a little pen and paper and write it. Take it to the checkout, and they go, "Okay, that's going to be $16.99." And you pay and take it up to the counter. And take it up to the counter and wait for the people to like sort it out. It was like a warehouse back there.
Yeah.
And they came back and you go, "Doot," and there it is, and they give it to you, and then you go home.
Yeah, I remember you and I did it one time when I went to Britain.
It was your first time because you had no idea what was going on.
I was like, "What is
the point
of this?"
I can't remember what did we buy?
A little like grill.
Oh, that's it. We bought a grill.
15, 20
little
pounds.
Barbecue,
Like a little grill. And I don't know why we got it
because
from
you wanted
there.
to grill.
I don't know why we got it from there. I guess that must have been the cheapest.
It was the cheap.
one.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, we should go to Argos," and it was your first time doing it. I remember you were very confused with the little pen and the paper,
it was just
and you're just like,
"What is the point of this place? Like, what is going on?" But you know what? Now with this pandemic, that seems like the most like hygienic way to shop, doesn't it? It seems like all the stores probably should be like that. Although I guess you're flipping through the catalog and everybody's touched that catalog.
But the catalog was like laminated, as I remember.
So
every
white
page
down the pages.
It was pretty cool. Number 8, being emotionally scarred for life by the animals of Farthing Wood. I don't remember the animals of Farthing. I remember it, but I don't remember watching it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, it was based on books.
Okay.
And it was like an animated show, and basically, it was about the animals of Farthing Wood who were forced to flee their homes after humans started destroying the wood to build suburban tract houses.
Okay.
A little bit like Watership Down.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, like, oh, humans destroying animals' habitat, and look how sad it is,
Yeah.
So
Britain loves a show with a message,
Yeah, it's very, very much like that.
Yeah. But it was on when you were a kid and you don't really remember it.
Yeah, I think it only ran for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So it was, something to watch.
Oh, something like that, unfortunately, would never make it over here because people would just be like, we don't want
our kids crying
to us. Oh, they're
another foreigner lecturing Americans.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Jeez.
Number 9 is wanting to go on Funhouse with Pat Sharp. Yes. Absolutely yes. And I only really wanted to drive the go-karts in the final round though, but Funhouse looked really, really cool.
What was Funhouse?
It was this show where you compete for like prizes and stuff.
Okay.
You had like 2 people. It was like a 2-person team.
It was like a game show.
And it was kids who were on there, you know. And they had Melanie and Martina, the twins, who were like the cheerleader type thing. It was very like really cool, And they'd ask you questions, and then you'd go and do a like a salt course with like, you know, in this fun house, you know, there was like,
Yeah.
it was like, to go up the stairs, you get gunged or whatever and stuff.
Oh,
and at the end
God.
and it was like, and at the final round, you had to drive the go-karts around this thing and grab prizes and do stuff and race the other team. It was really fun. It was like one of the, you know, like kids watch the iPad today and you go, oh, what's going on? Oh, this is great. Oh, you know, That's how I was watching Funhouse. I was like, yes.
It reminds me, the way you're describing it reminds me of this show we had on Nickelodeon when I was a kid called Double Dare. Did you guys have that?
I mean, it may have, Funhouse may have been based on it. I don't know.
You could come on with a parent, or maybe it was siblings. I don't remember. I was pretty little.
No, it was just kids.
And you wore like, you would be a red team and a blue team.
Yeah.
I don't know why all these shows are like red and blue versus each other. And it was the same thing. You would go through obstacle courses. You would get slimed on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
It was called Slimed, you know.
Gunged.
Gunged is...
You got gunged on Noel's house party
Gunged
too, and that
just
was celebrities getting gunged.
Gunged just sounds like such a wrong word. Like
it sounds good.
No, it doesn't.
Sounds
oh my
gunged.
God. Ew, stop saying it. But yeah, that's what that reminds me of. It was the same type of thing, it sounds like. I wonder if it was the same show, because, you know, we do that a lot, Britain and America. Like,
yeah,
it's the show.
All right, someone ripped someone else,
and they just rename it.
Yeah. Yes, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the speaking English is a good format. You know, let's just stamp an American in it, or, you know, change the name. It's the same with sitcoms, yeah, but that's a whole other thing. The final one was everyone was scared of the Millennium Bug.
Oh, yes. That was the same here.
Everyone. And the government published a report on it, too, called Action 2000. Like, oh, the facts, not fiction. Kind of like with the pandemic now. I think they've probably done it in the UK. I don't think they've done it over here, actually.
Wow.
Facts, not fiction, you know.
Well, they had a show on that was like pandemic, what you
got
need
pamphlets
to know or whatever.
Through the door with a symbol on it with a little bug, you know, and that was the official Millennium Bug symbol.
It was the Ministry of Millennium Bugs.
Yeah, the Ministry of Millennium Bugs. It was, yeah. Pamphlets about facts and stuff, and I can't even remember what it was. It was like everybody was scared their computer wasn't going to go to the year 2000. It was just going to roll back to like the Stone Age or whatever.
I don't know what was that fear. Everybody just thought, oh, all the computers in the world are going to stop working, and like the world will cease to exist.
And apparently it could have been much worse, but everybody was like, yeah, it's all ready. You know, we've checked it all out. We've checked it for years. A lot of these IT...
Y2K, that's what everybody called it.
Y2K. Y2K's coming.
Y2K
it's going to get you.
Y2K. Y2K. I remember everybody was freaking out. Y2K.
It was called the Millennium Bug to us, because, you know, we love giving cutesy names to things, as you say.
I think we called it Millennium Bug as well, but...
And everybody was just like, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yes.
And that's where the end of the world people, they all disappeared after that. With the sandwich boards and everything. They were going out, the end of the world is nigh. You know, do you remember them? In Britain, they were all over the place when I was a kid. You know, little old men with no teeth and, you know, just going around ringing a bell. The end of the world is nigh with a sandwich board on. After the year 2000, when I was a teenager, I never saw them again. Did they get beamed up? What happened to them?
It was the end of the world.
It was the end for them. Yeah, maybe it was.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, but
we shouldn't say that.
Nobody, you don't see that anymore. But yeah. But yeah, that was it. That's it. That's it for the list.
Well, some of the things I was able to relate to, and some not so much.
Pat Sharp, Funhouse.
Mr. Blobby.
Mr. Blobby. Look up Mr. Blobby.
No, don't.
Yes, go and look up Mr. Blobby.
Don't do it.
He was huge when I was a kid. I mean, he even had a #1 single. He had the Christmas #1 of 1993.
Oh, he's so creepy, and it's just I don't understand. That's like a weird British thing that I definitely do not understand what the appeal of that was.
Mr. Blobby was the Millennium Bug.
I think he was.
The end of the world was nigh, and Mr. Blobby's gonna get you. Anyway, everybody.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Share with us some of your nostalgic memories from when you were a kid, things you can like, you look back on and you go, oh yeah, I remember that. Or let us know if you are British and you're listening, if you remember any of the things that Dominic mentioned from this list. Maybe we'll do another episode. Seems like we have probably enough to do another episode.
We can do your things.
Yeah,
next
we'll
time.
do.
I mean, because I know we had, some, but there's going to be some things.
We'll do an American nostalgia. Yeah, because to me it's interesting. That's like an interesting aspect to see what things were the same.
Yeah.
You know, what childhood memories we kind of relate to each other on because, you know, they were popular there and they were popular here as well. Yeah, so...
American culture.
Yeah.
Americans are crazy.
Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we really appreciate your support, and we will talk to you all next time.
Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.